Picture this situation. You're lying awake at 3 in the morning, staring at the ceiling. And your mind is racing through every possible financial disaster that could happen tomorrow. Your car might break down. Your laptop could stop working. You might lose your job. Maybe your pet needs emergency surgery. Sound familiar? Now imagine for a moment that all of that pressure, all of that uncertainty, could be reduced by one single shift. There's a certain financial threshold that doesn't just change your bank account, it changes how you experience life. Most people assume money milestones are just random targets created by wealthy individuals to make others feel behind. But that belief misses something powerful. There's real psychology and real logic behind why specific amounts of money completely reshape your daily experience. And the first true turning point isn't $1 million. It isn't even $100,000. It's $10,000. This number represents something deeper than money. It represents control. It represents space. It represents the moment you stop reacting to life and start directing it. Without savings, every decision feels heavy. Every choice carries risk. You don't just think about what you want, you think about what could go wrong. A simple grocery trip becomes a mental calculation. A dinner invitation becomes a quiet source of stress. Even small expenses feel like they're threatening your stability. That's what living paycheck to paycheck really does. It doesn't just limit your money, it limits your thinking. You're forced into a defensive position, constantly protecting yourself instead of moving forward. But something shifts the moment you build that first real financial cushion. When you reach $10,000, your relationship with risk begins to change. You don't suddenly become reckless. You don't start making wild decisions. Instead, you become calm. You become steady. You begin to see options where before there were only threats. Decisions that once felt overwhelming start to feel manageable. Asking for a promotion no longer feels terrifying. Investing in a skill or course starts to feel possible. Even thinking about changing your environment or improving your situation becomes realistic. That's the power of a safety net. It doesn't push you into danger, it gives you permission to grow. And this change isn't just mental, it's biological. When financial pressure drops, your stress levels drop with it. Your body literally responds differently. The constant tension begins to fade. You sleep better. You think clearer. You react less emotionally and more strategically. Think about something as simple as a car problem. Without savings, it feels like a crisis. Your mind jumps straight to worst-case scenarios, debt, borrowing, setbacks. But with $10,000 behind you, that same situation becomes an inconvenience. Still annoying, yes, but not overwhelming. And that small shift, from panic to control, creates a chain reaction. When your mind isn't consumed by fear, it opens up. You start making better decisions. You become more productive. You show up stronger in your work, your relationships, your daily life. Here's the deeper truth most people overlook. The real value of $10,000 isn't in spending it. It's in knowing it's there. That knowledge changes how you walk, how you speak, how you decide. It builds quiet confidence. You stop accepting bad situations out of desperation. You start negotiating. You start choosing. And that confidence begins to attract better outcomes, better opportunities, better connections, better direction. But reaching this point isn't just about saving money. It's about becoming someone who saves. That's where the real transformation happens. Most people treat saving like a temporary effort. They push hard for a short time, then fall back into old habits. But those who reach this milestone shift their identity. They stop seeing saving as a sacrifice and start seeing it as part of who they are. Once that identity forms, everything changes. You begin to notice opportunities to reduce waste. You become more intentional. You think long-term instead of chasing short-term comfort. And here's something powerful, the process gets easier. The first $1,000 feels difficult. It demands discipline, but each step after that builds momentum. By the time you're approaching $10,000, you're no longer forcing yourself, you're operating on habit. There's also a practical side to this number. $10,000 covers most unexpected situations that disrupt people's lives: car repairs, medical bills, short-term job loss. It acts as a shield against the kind of setbacks that keep people trapped. But beyond protection, it creates opportunity. When you have no savings, opportunities pass you by. You see them, but you can't act. With a financial base, you can move. You can invest in yourself. You can take calculated risks. You can step into situations that have the potential to change your future. And that's where everything begins to expand. Your thinking shifts from survival to growth, from limitation to possibility, from reacting to creating. At that point, money is no longer just something you spend, it becomes something you use. A tool, a lever, a foundation for something bigger. And once you reach that first $10,000, something powerful happens inside you. You stop doubting whether change is possible. You've already proven it, and that proof? That's what carries you forward to everything that comes next.